Ah,
Thank you. Thank you for coming, everyone. It's a very sad day today. Please have a seat. Today, a loved one has passed on, and his name is Yayo. Some of you have may known him, mainly Daryl, Tyler, and Forrest. Maybe Mark. Yes. Where do I begin? Uh, I loaded up the Monster Ranchers, and I had all the problems. I could not figure out the buttons. I had everything. And I eventually got... What was it, Daryl? Zoom? Yes. And then I got some other monster. And they banged and had offspring. And that is what had... that became to be known as Yayo. What everyone loved. And that was the day a champ was in the making. Oh, wait. Before that, it wouldn't be possible for him to be born without Fart Hoover and X square circle triangle. Okay, enough of that. Face. Oh,
Continue.
that Ichigo face. I can't look at it. Thank you. Don't look at me, people.
He's getting hysterical. Don't mind him.
Yes, very. Oh, getting teary-eyed as we talk about this. Like, I don't know where to begin.
just start at the beginning, Jeff.
We already went over the beginning, Daryl.
Yes, we did. But unfortunately, Jeff has neglected to mention that it was a fine Saturday when Jeff finally decided to start playing Monster Rancher 2. And he was asking for advice because the emulator that he was using was a bit more confusing than he was, really prepared for. So the rest of us had decided that, we would attempt to help and laugh at him as he fumbled around the controls the entire time. It was a good time had by all, honestly. And for the first half hour, while Jeff was fumbling around with the controls, we managed to get quite a bit done. We got ourselves a Zoom named Farthofer and a Suezo named Triangle Circle Square X. And they went off, and we froze them in the lab at my request in order to create what would become known as Yayo. Yayo was a Zoom Subsuezo, and he was Jeff's very first monster in Monster Rancher 2 in over a decade. So, he had a bit of trouble getting used to all of Yayo's little quirks, like the fact for right off the bat, Yayo seemed to actually like punishment. So we decided to stop punishing him every time he failed. And that ended up really being not really the best course of action, but it worked out in our favor more often than not. We through going through the data that we had collected, we learned that Yayo was actually very fond of potatoes and very detested cup jellies. And I don't think Jeff was ever mean enough to actually feed Yayo cup jellies, but he did like feeding him potatoes. The months went on for a while, and finally Jeff decided to enter Yayo into his first tournament. And to be perfectly honest, Yayo did far better than I was expecting, since he was only about 4 months old at the time. Yes, that is exactly what Yayo was doing to the other monsters. He
Unfortunately, then Jeff misclicked.
Yes, Jeff misclicked because for the first fight, Jeff was actually allowing Yayo to take control because he was so incompetent with the controls. It was very likely that he would have just totally screwed it up. But for the second fight, he decided to take control, and Yayo just kind of stood around and danced for a while during the fight, causing himself to lose to Oklaman. But for his first outing, Yayo did really well, at least on his own. The months finally turned to his first year, but before turning a full year old, Yale was actually able to get from E class into D class with the official tournament, pretty much sweeping the entire thing. It was a glorious moment for us all as we watched as Yayo on his own managed to disable and just absolutely KO a bunch of the hardest opponents in the E class without any real difficulty. And so they went into the D class, and it was a very inspiring time for us all. We ended up skipping out on a lot of what happened for the next year as Jeff continued to play on his own. And he seemed to have gotten the hang of it because Yale managed to complete D class in a single battle, and it was really kick ass. Um, and then things started to fall apart. You see, Yayo had never been the best of monsters. Really, he cheated a lot. He failed at his drills, and he wasn't really the most tacticern when it came to tactiturn. That's the term I'm looking for when it came to training. Um, as such, he ended up running away a couple of times, and it was heartbreaking for the very least Colt. And honestly, with all of the stress and spoiling that Jeff ended up giving onto him, his lifespan was cut dramatically shorter than it would have been under normal coding data. Yes, there's a pick night there. Don't ask questions. So
We also had the instance where Jeff took Yayo on his first outing. Or no, was it his third or second? Where he managed to KO a bounty.
yes, on his second errand try, Yale not only managed to complete the whole thing, but actually managed to knock out a wild monster. It was a very triumphant moment for us all. And where did you go, Forrest? Oh, he's getting more. Okay. Anyhow, unfortunately, thanks to the erratic training schedule and the fact that Jeff wasn't really comfortable with the controls, Yayo has officially passed. He is not dead yet, but he's frozen because he's too old to compete anymore. And we are here today to celebrate and respect the gains and love that we've all shared with Yayo from his playtime, where Jeff fumbled even more with the controls, attempting to actually win the fight, only to lose because he failed to hit him. From the numerous amounts of cheating that he did, and Jeff didn't really punish him all that often. From the failed drills that he had, that wasn't really all that was understandable after about 2 years. Forrest keeps leaving screen for some reason, and I'm not entirely sure why.
I don't think you understand how stuffy this is, and this speech is a lot longer than it needs to be.
Yes, it is longer than it needs to be. So for now, we would like to say thank you to Yayo.